This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, FS1. Christine Leahy is joining me, hour number 3 today. I'll have my prediction for the championship game tonight. Very, very excited for that.
You're keeping a fan base angry at you again.
Which one?
Did you just say something bad about Villanova?
I like Villanova. Fans have to realize I'm not like your local sports announcer where I'm always there for your local team. If you want to be told what you want to hear, go listen to your local guys. If you want to be told what you sometimes need to hear, listen to us. So I'll talk to that in a second. But let me start. I'm consumed with the draft, and I read something this morning, so let me get to this. It is amazing. Life, business, Wall Street, Main Street, sports. How often the great companies, they deserve credit, but have feasted on poorly run companies. In baseball, Ted Williams, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, Derek Jeter, almost nobody hits the ace of the opposing staff. You live on the number 3 guy, the number 4 starter, the number 5 starter, the middle reliever, the second best closer. Because nobody really hits great pitching, right? Nobody really hits Clayton Kershaw. And even in sports and in business, the big dogs feast on the poorly run companies. Look at sports, for instance. I mean, that Warriors dynasty. You know why that was created? Because the historically irrelevant Minnesota Timberwolves took 2 guards before Steph Curry, 2 point guards. And a dynasty was created. And the poorly run Charlotte Hornets gave up Kobe Bryant for Vlade Divac, a bag of marbles, and an end table. And the Hornets are still irrelevant, and the Lakers got a dynasty out of it. The poorly run Miami Dolphins, their doctors said no to Drew Brees. Drew Brees is still in New Orleans, setting records. Portland passed on both Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant. To be great, you deserve a lot of credit, but it's remarkable how often the great teams and the great businesses feast on poorly run contemporaries. And the story this morning, Peter King's column, he is being told by a source that Cleveland Browns general manager John Dorsey will not draft Sam Darnold. They'll draft Josh Allen. And who will benefit? The New York Giants, who have been relevant forever, who have 4 Super Bowl titles, they will absolutely take Sam Darnold. That's nothing against the Warriors, but they feasted on the T-Wolves. And nothing against the Bulls and Pippen, but they feasted on Seattle. Dynasties are created through hard work and mistakes of poorly run franchises. By the way, there's a real psychology here. Cleveland passed on Carson Wentz, and the Browns have very low sports self-esteem. Carson Wentz was a no-name kid, huge arm, great at the combine, big, tall, athletic. Carson Wentz is Josh Allen, except way better. And Cleveland passed on him and was mocked, and people lost jobs, and they were ridiculed. And Cleveland is now saying, we're not going to let it happen again. What quarterback in this draft shares the most characteristics with Carson Wentz, who they passed on? Josh Allen. But I will remind you, let's put Josh Allen and Sam Darnold's numbers next to each other. Yeah, Sam played with better people, but played a significantly tougher schedule. Completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, passer rating, wins, loss, yards per attempt, it's not even close. It is not even close. This is your classic low sport self-esteem franchise passing on Carson Wentz and trying to make amends with Josh Allen. And it is absolutely remarkable in the history of sports. When you look at these dynasties, the Lakers with Kobe, the Warriors with Steph, how many teams, 23, passed on Aaron Rodgers? A lot of bad franchises that still don't have a quarterback. The decision here is a really easy one. And according to Peter King, John Dorsey's about to hand the New York Giants more Super Bowls. It's the way it generally works. Well-run teams Relevant franchises feast on poorly run franchises and irrelevant franchises. Let me shift gears to this. Tonight's the national championship. There's 3 college basketball programs it's hard for me not to root for because I know and like their coach. Gonzaga, Mark Few, Duke, Coach K, and Villanova, Jay Wright. I used to cover him. His son's name is Colin. You can ask him. His wife was pregnant. I was a local sportscaster, and the wife said, I like the name Colin. It's a true story. Gone on to have a nice career. Good kid. All Collins. Very predictably disciplined. So tonight, Villanova goes in as a big favorite, biggest in years. And I think they could be in trouble. I'd like to see him win because I don't know John Beilein, though he's a great coach. But the entire Villanova brand has always been the underdog. Ohio State and Alabama football, they're the heavyweights. Duke and Kentucky and Kansas, they're often favorites. Villanova's brand is that small Philadelphia school. Biggest upset in college history, Rollie Massimino. A couple years ago, they hit a shot. Jay Wright stoic on the sidelines. They're like the little engine that could. And tonight they're in the championship, and they're a big favorite. And I'm not sure how they're going to react. Michigan's got several things in their favor tonight. A, Villanova can't shoot as well as they did against Kansas. It's not possible. And B, Michigan relies on defense and coaching. Those show up every night. Shooting does not. 5 reasons I think Michigan can beat Villanova tonight. They haven't lost since February 6th. They're the hottest team in the tournament. They've been 6-1 in close games. Villanova hasn't been in many close games. There is absolutely no pressure on Michigan. They're playing with house money. Many are surprised they're here. They're the biggest underdog in years. I think they may have the best coach in college basketball. And that's saying a lot, that they may have the better coach tonight because Jay Wright may be one of the top 3 or 4. And they absolutely play as good a defense as anybody in college basketball not named West Virginia. Their brand at Villanova has been the dog, the scrappy, the little engine. For the last 24 hours, about 48 actually when the game starts, Villanova will be an absolute dominating favorite. How can you lose? Better team, more shooters, coming off a profoundly prolific night of shooting against Kansas. There is no way Villanova shoots like that. There is no way Villanova plays that well. Michigan, big dog, house money, great coach, better defense, no pressure, has made the championship game, and I would argue outside of their game against Texas A&M, has not played particularly great basketball for long stretches. I think it's time for one of Joel Klatt's specialties. I think it's very, very, very close. This is my almost upset. My almost upset alert. By the end of the show, I may call it. I saw that line, 6.5, and I went, no. If I bet college basketball, all my chips are on the Wolverines. I think Villanova's tight tonight. They're in a very unique situation where they're supposed to win. If they don't win, come on, way better players. It's going to be really, really interesting tonight. I don't think the one and done is dead, for the record, although both teams here are not one and done teams. I think it shows the value of coaching. You have 2 great coaches, the value of defense. These teams play defense. And you've got some 22-year-olds, and Kentucky's got a bunch of 19-year-olds. And, college basketball, I'll tell you this, the last 2 years, and I don't have an answer for this, but the last 2 years I've watched more March Madness than I have in 10 years. I have no idea why. Am I getting bored with the NBA? I don't think so. Do I kind of know what's going to happen in the NBA playoffs, so I'm looking for some drama? That may be it. Maybe it's because the guys I like, Jay Wright, Mark Few, the programs I really kind of, when you know somebody, you root for their success. Maybe because those guys are having a lot of success. But I think it's really close. I think it comes down to a jumper. I'll say 65-62 either way. I don't have the guts to call the upset. I think it's Villanova, last shot. Would not be surprised at all with an upset. Coming up next, as honest as you can be, and one of our guests didn't like it whatsoever. That's coming up. Guys, the title game is here in college hoop. NFL draft around the corner. NBA playoffs, too. It's a great time of the year for the herd. It also means warmer weather in April. Shed the coats, winter jackets. Guys, time to work on your game. You can work out, you can eat right. Why don't you add Take M Drive every day to the process? It increases energy, which increases endurance, which increases vitality. The entire M Drive line is built on science, clinically tested, safe, and effective. Helps you achieve your goals by boosting something you already have. Testosterone. It boosts your natural T levels. You can get it online at buymdrive.com. Always put in the code HERD. You can also get it Walgreens, Duane Reade, GNC, Vitamin Shop, and Sprouts. What you're trying to do is refine your prime, sustain and increase your energy, and do that with M Drive. From M Drive Boost and Burn to M Drive Workforce to M Drive Prime.